For over 1,000 years, major global civilizations treated the human body as a delicate ecosystem. Healers relied on the Greek humors, the Ayurvedic doshas, or the concept of yin and yang to restore internal harmony. If a patient was sick, it meant their inner environment had fallen out of alignment with the world around them. The scientific revolution replaced this holistic philosophy with a mechanical one. Philosophers and anatomists began mapping veins and dissecting organs, defining the body as a physical structure governed strictly by the laws of physics. This shift birthed early allopathy, or heroic medicine. Since doctors now viewed the body as a machine, they believed they had to forcefully repair it, using invasive tools and metal saws to achieve a result. The decision to treat the body as a biological machine rather than a living ecosystem set the stage for a century-long war over human health. 19th-century allopathy arrived as a toxic and violent practice that frequently endangered the patients it claimed to help. To forcefully shift the body, physicians relied on poisonous minerals. They administered heavy doses of antimony and raw mercury, often triggering a wave of new, horrendous illnesses that were sometimes more lethal than the original infection. Terrified by these methods, patients began fleeing the allopathic system in the 1800s, returning to the balance-based traditions of holistic practitioners. Alternative systems like homeopathy thrived during this period. By using highly diluted natural remedies, these doctors achieved better outcomes and captured the favor of the wealthy and educated classes. Alternative systems were systematically dismantled by an industry protecting its market share. In 1847, the American Medical Association was a financially struggling organization. Most doctors ignored its membership, and its leadership was desperate to secure a monopoly for the allopathic model. The AMA found allies in industrial titans like John D. Rockefeller Sr. These men viewed the biological machine model of medicine as a scalable, high-yield social investment that could be standardized across the country. In 1910, the Flexner Report locked the gate on medical education. Claiming to raise standards, it funneled capital exclusively into allopathic schools. Rockefeller foundations poured millions into this mechanistic model. Alternative institutions faced starvation, as all grants were withheld. The strategy was effective. Stripped of capital and licensing, competing schools were forced to close, leaving the mechanistic model as the sole legal survivor. Allopathy secured its status as the global standard through a coordinated corporate takeover of the medical classroom. With the monopoly secured, the AMA and the FDA became aggressive enforcers, targeting any therapy that threatened the profitability of the biological machine model. During the 1920s, ultraviolet blood irradiation, or UVBI, successfully cured a massive range of fatal infections across America. Its results were so consistent that the treatment was widely promoted in mainstream media like Time magazine. The AMA offered to validate the treatment, but only if the inventors sold them the rights to the technology and gave them a cut of the sales. When the inventor refused, the AMA published a botched study using a machine where a film blocked the UV light. They used this rigged data to bury the therapy. In the 1940s and 50s, cancer treatments like crebiozin and Cox catalysts faced similar fates. When the inventors refused to surrender their rights, the AMA used its medical journals to label them as quacks. The FDA joined the offensive. When researchers presented evidence for crebiozin, the agency produced spectrographic data claiming the substance was merely a common, worthless metabolite. After this data was exposed as a fabrication, Senator Paul Douglas told the Senate that neither the FDA nor the National Cancer Institute could be trusted. The policing continued with DMSO, a widely adopted compound that tens of thousands of patients used for inflammatory conditions. The FDA banned human testing based on unproven animal side effects, while ignoring extensive safety data from human trials and prison studies. The institutional playbook followed a predictable sequence. If a treatment could not be owned, it was labeled as quackery and erased from the medical record. Today, the mechanistic model is the unquestioned, legally enforced global standard of medicine. Treating the body as a machine has produced major advancements in trauma and surgery, but this dominance was not earned by scientific merit alone. The balance-based medical systems of antiquity were dismantled by a campaign of financial engineering and regulatory capture. This history forces us to look at modern medical denouncements with a critical eye. We must ask if an alternative is rejected because it fails to heal, or because it threatens the established monopoly of the biological machine.